Hello, it is 9 p.m. in after this time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Constitutional Council announces the final result of the presidential elections 2026. Other international scene talks in Cairo on Sudan, Lebanon, and regional stability. Welcome to our newsroom. President Macron comments President Guelleh's personal commitment to regional stability and security. The President of the French Republic, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, paid this heartfelt tribute to his re-elected President Ismail Omar Guelleh in a congratulatory telegram sent to him on Tuesday evening on the occasion of your re-election as President of the Republic of Djibouti. I wish to extend my warmest congratulations and sincere wishes for success in fulfilling the high mission entrusted to you by the Djiboutian people, wrote President Macron in the telegram sent to his Djiboutian counterpart. The French head of state then took the opportunity to express his satisfaction with the close ties between the two nations. France is particularly committed to the relationship of friendship and trust that unites it with the Republic of Djibouti, noted President Macron, who described the renewal of defense cooperation treaty, which entered into the forces last year, as an important step in strengthening our strategic partnership. The French president also used this telegram to emphasize the convergence of views between the two countries regarding ways and means of addressing the new threats increasingly characterizing the world today. In a regional environment marked by significant tensions, I wish to assure you of France's determination to continue its work alongside you in the service of peace and security. The President of the French Republic added, reiterating his belief in the continued strengthening of the close and trusting relationship that unites our two countries in the services of our common interests. The proclamations of the final result of the presidential elections of April 10, 2026, the Constitutional Council, the country's highest judicial body, today issued an official statement announcing the final result of the presidential election held on April 10, 2026 throughout the national territory. The Council expressed its gratitude for the civic mindedness and sense of responsibility of the Djiboutian people who mobilized calmly with dignity to exercise their civic duties. Following these elections, the Constitutional Council, through its President, Mr. Abdi Ismail Hersi, proclaiming the final result of the re-elected President Ismail Omar Guelleh obtained. The President of the Constitutional Council, following this election, is proclaimed the final result. The re-elected President Ismail Omar Guelleh obtained 97.01% of the votes, while the CDU candidate, Mr. Mohamed Farah Samatar, received 2.99% of the votes. This result illustrates the Djiboutian people's determination to pursue the pace of development and stability. In conclusion, here is the statement from Abdi Ismail Hersi, President of the Constitutional Council. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, in partnership with the UNICEF and the local educational partner group, organized this morning a joint review workshop of the 2021-2025 Education Action Plan, as well as a strategic assessment in preparation for the 2026-2030 plan. The opening ceremony held at the CFN, the National Center for Education Training, was chaired by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, in the presence of UNICEF representatives in Djibouti, the head of the local education partner group, Ms. Ramatou Touré, also participating in the meeting, where the JICA resident representative in Djibouti, the World Bank representative, the French Development Agency, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, the Inspector General, and several technical and financial partners. Ms. Reni Yotova, head of the Global Partnership for Education, and other stakeholders in the sectors also participate remotely. from April 21 to 23, 2026. Participants comprised of MenFop officials, partners, and representatives of civil society will conduct a comprehensive evaluations of the achievement of the 2021-2025 Education Action Plan in order to identify future directions for the next plan 2026-2030. The technical partner emphasized the importance of this joint review for strengthening coordination and improving the quality of the education system. The results of the annual work plan covering the different levels of education will be examined and subgroups and then discussed in plenary sessions before the final validations of the joint review of the education action plan. The UNICEF representatives reiterated that education remains a fundamental right and key drivers for development and social equity. This review will therefore consolidate achievement and better guide future actions. During the 3 days workshop, participants will analyze key indicators for the education sector. For his part, the Minister Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud reiterated that education is the foundations of national development. He highlighted the reforms undertaken, particularly in infrastructure, teacher trainings, and governance. He also emphasized that despite a challenging international context, significant progress has been made. In other news, the People's Palace hosted a graduation ceremony for the Islamic Institute of Djibouti under the high patronage of His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques in Djibouti, Mr. Mutriq bin Abdullah Al Ajalani. The People's Palace hosted a solemn ceremony on Monday evening dedicated to the graduations of the 6th graduating class of university students and 45th graduating class of secondary school students from the Islamic Institute of Djibouti. The ceremony took place in the presence of several high-ranking state officials, including the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf Property, Mumin Hassan Barre. Also participated in the event were the Dean of the Islamic Institute of Djibouti, Dr. Hatim bin Falih Al-Mudara, representatives of the diplomatic corps accredited to the countries, and high-ranking civilians and military figures, along with a large number of students and guests. The ceremony began with the playing of national anthems of the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, followed by the recitations of the verses from the Holy Quran. The various segments of the program then highlighted the Institute's history and achievement, as well as its role in training future leaders. The ceremony also featured an official parade of graduates from different programs in an atmosphere filled with pride and emotions. A total of 136 graduates were honored, representing various disciplines, including Sharia law, Arabic languages, business administration, secondary education. The event concluded with the presentations of the awards to the top students, the distributions of the commemorative gifts to the officials in attendance of a group photo capturing this important educational occasion. During the ceremony, the Dean of the Islamic Institute congratulated the graduate and reiterating the institution's educational and spiritual mission. The Dean of the Islamic Institute of Djibouti, Dr. Hatim bin Falih Al-Mud'ara, welcomed the ministers and distinguished guests to the graduation ceremony, praising the institution's role in promoting Islamic education and values. He also congratulated the 136 graduates, urging them to embrace their responsibilities as exemplary citizens and ambassadors of the Islamic values while expressing his gratitude to the Djiboutian and Saudi authority for the support. The Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed, for his part, encouraged graduates to pursue further education and contribute to national development. The various segments of the programs then highlighted the Institute's histories and achievements as well as its role in training future leaders. In the economic sector, Djibouti Post has reached a new milestone with the signing of a strategic agreement with the National Postal Bank. Djibouti Post signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with the Rockland Group, marking the effective entry of the National Postal Group project into the new phase of financial and partnership structuring. This agreement was initially led by the General Directors of the Djibouti Post, Mr. Bahnan Ali Meidal, the Director of the Rockland Group. After several years of internal modernizations and consolidations of its operational capabilities, notably through the transformations program supported by the French Development Agency, the Post is today taking a decisive step by opening its project to an initial group of strategic investors. This partnership is part of a strategy to bring together stakeholders capable of providing investment capacity, technical expertise, influence, and access to regional and international financial networks. The objective is to position the future bank postal according to high international standards. For his part, the general manager of the Post, Bahnan Ali Meidal, said that the signing of this agreement sends a strong signal to the market, demonstrating the confidence of the initial partners and paving the way for new opportunities for cooperation in a changing environment. The Djibouti Post thus reaffirms its role as a central driver of transformation, combining local presence, innovations, and strategic ambitions to support national development. Institutionally, the National Human Rights Commission CNDH is strengthening the capacity of its members through training dedicated to human rights and public policies as part of its capacity building effort. The National Human Rights Commission has organized internal training focused on public policies and human rights for its commissioner, staff, and members of the parliament. This initiative is part of an institutional strengthening process aimed at improving the understanding and integrations of human rights in the development, implementations, and evaluations of the public policies. The training was chaired by the president of the CNDH, Ali Soubane Ateye. Through specialized modules, participants were equipped with knowledge of governance mechanisms, national and international legal frameworks, and best practices in the protection of fundamental rights. Beyond the technical aspects, this training reflects a strong national commitment to promoting human rights. It highlights the Djiboutian institutions' desire to strengthen coordination among public actors and ensure a more inclusive and rights-respecting approach to citizens. In his speech delivered on this occasion, the president of the CNDH emphasized that this training is intended for commissioner staff of the National Human Rights Commission. So the objective is to have a concrete impact on the ground by improving the quality of interventions, complaints management, and the monitoring of public policies related to human rights. This program was implemented with the support of the European Union. Still within the institutional sphere, strategic agreement was signed to improve the productions of data of disability. An official signing ceremony for a partnership agreement was held this morning in the conference room of the National Agency for Persons with Disability in Haramus between the ANPH and the National Institute of Statistics of Djibouti. The event marks an important step in strengthening institutional cooperation regarding the productions and management of social data in Djibouti. The ceremony brought together the Director General of the ANPH and the Director General of the ENSPD, as well as several technical staff from both institutional social statistics experts and representatives of technical partners involved in social inclusion and development issues. The signing agreement focuses primarily on establishing a structured collaborative framework for the collections, processing, analysis, and dissemination of data relating to persons with disabilities throughout the country. The goal is to obtain reliable, accurate, and regularly updated statistics to better understand the realities, needs, and challenges faced by people with disabilities in Djibouti. The Director General of the National Agency for the Promotion of the People with Disability stressed the need for reliable data to better target actions for people with disability, while his counterpart from the central role of statistics in public decision making. This agreement is part of a national initiative to promote equal opportunities and the inclusion of the people with disability, while also contributing to the establishment of a more effective national information system to support sustainable development and social justice. In the sport and youth sector, Ali Sabih is preparing to host the third edition of the Treasure Hunt. Ali Sabih is preparing to host the third round editions of the Treasure Hunt. As part of the preparations for the third round editions of the Treasure Hunt, the Secretary General of the State Secretariat for Sports, Mr. Khadija Ibrahim Idris, conducted a file mission to Ali Sabih this morning, accompanied by a large delegation of department officials and managers. This visit is part of a proactive and coordinated effort to ensure the smooth running of this event, which has become over the years a highly anticipated event for young people and those passionate about cultural and sporting activities. Upon arrival, the delegation was received in audience by the prefect of the region, Abdul Malik Muhammad Benoita. During this meeting, discussions focused on the various organizational aspects of the event, including the logistical, securities, and technical arrangements to be implemented. Both parties also discussed ways to strengthen collaboration between central and local authorities to ensure effective coordinations and optimal mobilizations of available resources. The regional prefect, for his part, welcomed the initiative led by the State Secretary for Sports. He emphasized the importance of this type of event in promoting social cohesion, youth engagement, and the development of rural areas. He also reaffirmed the regional administration's full commitment to supporting all stages of the organization. For the international scene, on the 14 days of the truce between US and Iran, attention is turning to a possible new rounds of negotiations expected in Islamabad in a context marked by still divergent positions between the two sides. These discussions are taking place as US President Donald Trump called for a fair agreement, while uncertainties persist regarding the actual holdings of the talks and their outcomes. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received U.S. advisors Massad Boulos in Cairo for consultations on key regional issues, including Sudan and Lebanon. Both sides reaffirming their commitment to strengthening bilateral coordinations to support regional stability and prioritize political solutions to ongoing crises. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.